This is the CHRILLCAST.
Krill is delicious.
It is.
Krill.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a krill without the K.
I'm Chris.
I'm Will.
And what's today, Will?
It's Wild Card Wednesdays.
What are we talking about, man? I totally forgot to change the backdrop here.
Oh, well, today we're talking about the Nemesis System, employed in only 2 games so far, Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor. And we're going to talk about some of the pros and cons of this system, what we like about it, and maybe some other game franchises that would benefit from a similar system.
So what's the basic part of this, Will? What are you looking at when you see here's something like the Nemesis? Like Nemesis, the definition of it is essentially your fierce rival, right?
Yes. So, I mean, it's in the name. So, in the original game, the idea of the Nemesis System is that you would have these orc captains that you're going around, and they're just random they're generated differently for every player, and they have their own unique names, and they have weaknesses and stuff. And if you kill one, but you don't execute them,
which I've made the mistake of doing several times.
Yeah, they'll come back and they'll have like damages to their face and like burn damages, or they'll have like an arrow stuck in their eye socket or something. And they'll remember the encounter, their personality changes, and they'll taunt you and also adapt their fighting style to try to like combat you differently the next time they see you. So it's super cool. And they just in Shadow of War, it grows exponentially from there. So it's just far more diverse how they can come back. They can have ambushes. They can betray you even when you brand them. And you take over fortresses, and that like the world actually sort of changes depending on who you put in charge of your fortress. So like different decorations are hung up, and you have different animals that roam around. It's pretty cool.
I have to say, getting wrecked by an orc for the first time on that game was like, oh, I was like, it's like no.
Yep.
So then he moves up the ranks to like this untouchable position within the orc battle ranks. And I was like, dude, you're going down. So I went to go kill him. Nope. He wrecked me again.
Yep.
And then he moved up again. And I was like, this is horrible. So then
they taunt you about it.
Finally, like after 3 hours of just trying to find this guy and put him in his place, I wrecked him. Straight down from the top, arrow through the face to begin the battle. Then he chased me around the map, and I ran like a pansy. And slowly but surely, I weakened him down to no health, and I forgot to finish him off.
Oh, no.
And it was so great, because then he comes back and murders me. I mean, this system is so frustrating and awesome at the same time. It makes you want to keep playing the game. Yeah. I don't remember what the dude's name was. It was something stupid. It was like Repugnant or something. Or I don't know. It was just some god-awful orc name. And it made me absolutely adore the Nemesis system. That you bought the games for me, Will, for what, Christmas or birthday last year. That was such an awesome idea. I have not played them enough yet, but I should play them some more soon now that I'm winding down some of these other games I'm playing. And I'm going to wreck that orc so bad.
Get a little kinky there, Chris.
No.
I love the Nemesis system, though. So it's like, when it came out, it was revolutionary. It really took the industry by storm, especially for a Lord of the Rings game. You know, there have been good Lord of the Rings games in the past, but this was is so out of left field that they had such a intricate system built into a movie license essentially. And I'm really surprised that no other game so far has utilized a system like this. There's so many other open world games that could have a system like this. Assassin's Creed. You could even do like the Batman games would be really cool. Far Cry.
I think the biggest problem is the Nemesis system. I would be willing to bet you is either owned by Warner Brothers or this Monolith Studios that produces the game for Warner Brothers. Because
Batman could use it.
Warner Brothers. Well, it depends on if the studio Monolith owns it, or if the Warner Brothers owns the particular gameplay element, right? I mean, whoever owns the copyright to that system.
It's true. I don't know who it is. I just remember when it first came out, I was thinking this was going to be in so many games, and it's in no other games. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
I'm trying to think of if there's any other game that I've played that has something even remotely similar.
I
And
have.
to be totally honest with you, it's not coming to my head. It's not coming to me right now.
Hmm.
Uh, I want to say no. I don't think it's even in that game. I was gonna say Battle for Middle Earth. I want to say they made the factions in the game kind of adapt to your gameplay, but that's not even the same type of game. That's an RTS.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, they even in this game, so just going to the adaptive gameplay. So this isn't. I don't think this is the case in Shadow of Mordor. I don't quite remember, but in Shadow of War, the captains will actually adapt to your strategies. So if you try to keep hitting, like if you just keep hitting the X button or something, they will adapt, and you won't be able to attack them that way anymore. That's them adding to the Nemesis system. Even that is pretty unique. Most games don't even have that system.
the adaptation to the
Yeah.
style of gameplay you have. I heard some rumor that Halo 5's enemies would do that.
I've never noticed that.
It's a rumor. I don't know how true it is. Is there going to be a third game in the Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War series?
Probably not, because they decided to come out with micro. Oh, what happened to my face? I'm super zoomed in right now.
There we go. I don't know what happened there. Sometimes your camera just causes that, Will.
Oh, okay. Not even on my stuff.
It was
So
adapting
probably
to
not.
the Nemesis system.
Anyway, so back to the question.
Yep.
They released with microtransactions in a single player campaign.
Not a good idea.
Pretty egregious microtransactions, and it was a big controversy. They've ripped them all out. So if you haven't bought the game yet, I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun, but I think it killed it. I think it killed the franchise.
I think as long as they don't come back and say, all right, we're doing a Fallout First type subscription now that we've got you all into it, I think they'll be okay. I think that the game probably is, at this point, pretty good.
Mm-hmm. And you can get it for like $10, so it's totally worth the $10. You get so much in it.
Still cheaper than Fallout 76.
Mm-hmm.
I am eventually going to play that, by the way. I promised people I'd play it on this episode, but the Nemesis System deserves this spot so much more than Fallout 76 gameplay. So, sorry. Not sorry. I would love to see the Nemesis System truly adapted to a Star Wars game. I think it would have been a great addition to Jedi Fallen Order, depending on what that game turns out to be. But it sounds like they're going to do a pseudo implementation of that system to the Jedi Fallen Order game.
Yeah. At least have it where if something kills you, you can go back and they'll taunt you, and you can kill them again. It's not going to be nearly as in depth as the Nemesis system in these games, but it sounds cool still.
They won't have the amount of character that the random generation in Shadow of War causes, which, in my opinion, is a work of art when it comes to game development.
Mm-hmm. The orcs are so funny. I love the little speeches before they fight you,
right?
Especially the ones that are infested. So like the worms are eating my brain. Great. I crack up every time.
Oh my god. And then if you could implement something like this in another game franchise, Will, what was the one you kept saying to me earlier?
The new Fable. I would love to see this in the new Fable.
That's not the one I was talking about.
Oh, what is the other one?
Although Fable, yes, I agree. Fable would be a great one for this.
With the bandits. It would work with the bandits, yeah.
It would work with the bandits, but also, can you imagine if, like, the background, let's just say the evil force in Fable 4, was literally, like, the head of the bandits.
Mm-hmm.
And the bandits would move up the ranks, and you'd find out that at the heart of the bandits organization, and maybe after Fallout Fable 3, you're like the descendant of the king, and you actually start in a king position and slowly watch the kingdom deteriorate under the bandits. The bandits have this Nemesis system going on, and
I'm cool with that as long as you don't pick up after Fable 3 and have it be either a reboot or a prequel.
No. You'd be a descendant of the king in Fable 3. They just
I
basically
don't want to go that far.
We'll just make it years away from Fable 3, right? Like 100 years later or something.
Has the world been destroyed, so it's no longer like super industrialized?
You're basically a king, right? I'm just saying, You're basically a king in Fable 4, right? This is my thought process for that. You're basically a king in Fable 4, and you've watched your entire empire crumble, and now you're in the rebuild phase with these bandits that are trying to start a revolution because you're such a horrible king, and you have to grow up and become a good king.
Okay, that could work.
Slowly but surely turn the people onto your side. I don't know. And then the bandits could have the Nemesis system. Like, if they kill you, well, now this bandit's moved up in the ranks, and there's some evil sorcerer controlling the bandits and wants to take over the kingdom. I don't know. That's my thought. But you said Batman. I think that'd be really cool to have random-generated Batman enemies. That would be so cool. You end up with, like, the Jokester and the Riddle Maker.
A Riddle Maker. Oh my gosh, yes.
And then the Poison Oak.
Yeah, the Ivy of Poison.
Yeah. Or like Mr. Hale instead of Mr. Freeze.
Mr. Hale. It's like, sounds like a high school teacher.
Yeah, I guess it could be. Mr. Sleet.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh man. Or like you end up with some bad guys that probably are on the edge of stealing from other franchises, like Shredder.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Or Michelangelo, but he fights you with a paintbrush.
Yes.
I will kill you with my art.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That'd be really hard to do, but it'd also be really cool.
I think it could fit in most open world games that have any kind of villain structure. So, like, if there's any kind of recurring villain, I think this could work.
Oh yeah.
And I just can't believe it's not in more games. It has to be copyrighted in some way. But you would think so, that someone would find a way around it.
Maybe it's just hard to program.
Maybe they're just too lazy.
And the Shadow of War series has just done it so well that they just keep re-implementing it.
Mm-hmm.
Another franchise that would be cool to do this in. I'm just thinking about this. What if they did a Game of Thrones video game series?
Oh yeah, I'm totally on board. I thought about that too.
That would be an interesting way to implement it, right?
Yeah, and it would just be like Shadow of War, where you have different castles you actually have to take over, so it would work for the different kingdoms. Perfect. Let's do it.
Great. Or we could do John Marco video game.
Mm-hmm. That would be cool.
The John Marco books. You got to read those and let me know what you think.
I will.
All right. Is there anything else you wanted to add about the Nemesis system?
Nope. It's awesome, and I'm disappointed it's not more games.
All right. Well, with that being said, as always, I'm Chris.
And I'm Will.
And we will see you
next CHRILLCAST.